and we'll do it.
Are you're gonna maybe ask a couple of questions, or you lead the way? I want to make sure I'm answering what you want.
Why, for sure.
Your show.
And we should be live at this point. Hello, Facebook. Welcome to Mike's Mastermind. And tonight we have Rachel Korevaar. Did I get that finally? And she's a heck of a coach with a different way of looking at things than any I heard. I really appreciated. I've heard her speak before and really appreciated it. Thought you all would like it too. I just want to say, coaching wise, that I don't know. I follow Ray Higdon, and he talks about how he's never been without a coach.
Yeah.
It's something that it doesn't matter how successful or prominent you become, it's something that's very helpful.
I definitely agree with that, because it's your blind spots. Like, people forget, I think it's like an ego thing, but no matter what stage you're at, you're a human being. So why wouldn't you want someone to help you see your blind spots? Or you become successful because you have an attitude of continually learning. So those who are really successful, they have a whole team of coaches. But yet when we're starting out, people go, oh, I don't need a coach. It's like, where does the ego come from where you think you don't need a coach? I think it's the habit of having one that shows that you're a successful person. If that makes sense.
I get so much from other people, and I tend to get cocky. I like personal development. I nailed that tough back in January, and I have a tendency to say, okay, I got that. What's next?
Yeah. I'm the same.
You let it go for 2 weeks and it's gone. You have to start over.
You're exactly right.
It's something and that's something that you can use somebody to kick you in the rear end and say, hey, why aren't you doing that still?
Yep, you're exactly right.
So you, a little bit on your philosophy. I'm dying to hear you tie into that. I know this, like I said, I know you're different and very logical. I think make more sense than a lot I've heard.
Yeah, well, I think that I just have this mentality that there's a step-by-step process. Even though we're dealing with emotional health, even though we're dealing with mindset, I don't know when it ever became like not logical. People have studied this. Performance coaches have worked it out. Scientists have established what needs to happen. So my coaching, like I have a coaching method called the PC method, and that goes through 4 pillars. And I'll go through that in a minute. But the whole purpose of my coaching and my coaching method is you need to have a sports-like mindset. You need to have like a sports performance mindset when you're running a business. You need to have, and I call it the SWAT team mentality, right? Because a SWAT team, they've got one purpose. They go in, they get the job done. There's no dibble-dabbling. There's no hesitation. That's the mindset that I get from my clients, is like a sports performance SWAT team type mindset. Because in business, in whatever your goal is, like I work with business owners, but whatever your goal is, if you sort of dibble-dabble and do these ones and you're like, oh, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, you lose a lot of money, you lose a lot of opportunities, and you don't grow, right? So I'm a strong believer that you have to be able to develop this sports mentality mindset, this SWAT team mindset, to execute. It's execution. Like, you need to have the confidence, you need to have the emotional capacity to be like, there's the opportunity, I've taken it, boom, move forward. Yeah. And I teach that through my PC method, which is performance cycle. PC stands for. And the 4 pillars of that, the coaching method that I take people through, number 1 is clarity. Like, you've really, really got to know. And I think this is the thing that you and I spoke about last time, but I talk about clarity from, you've got to know who you want to be. Like, athletes and business owners succeed because they're very, very aware of how they need to be feeling and acting in situations. That's how you become successful. So clarity, step number 1, clarity. It's not necessarily about how much money do you want to be making? Yes, we all know those goals, and I'm not saying you need to disregard them. We all know them. But high performers and this type of mentality, I ensure that you know how you want to be feeling. So not only do you become super productive and super focused, but you're fucking happy because you've decided how you want to be feeling. Yeah? Like that's the point. It's proven 78% of happy people are 78% more likely to build a successful business. Like it's a stat. So like people wonder why, like I don't know why people compromise mindset. Step 2 of the method is breakthrough. Like think of all the things you're doing that are not serving you and all the thoughts you're having that are holding you back, that stop you from having the SWAT team mentality, right? Overwhelm, anxiety, frustration, the lack of confidence, the lack of self-worth that holds you back. You've got to be able to start breaking down and dissolving some of those behaviors. So obviously as a coach, that's the crux of what we do, yeah? And then the third step is success habits. And unfortunately, I do not see enough. This is where the simple and logical part that you love comes into it, right? Like there's gotta be, and there is, but there's gotta be a way for you to be able to practice these new emotions and new habits that you want. There is. Daily rituals, daily habits. It's not just a conversation anymore. I'm not going to sit here and motivate you. I'm going to show you how to get it, right? Like a SWAT team or an athlete would train every single day on a specific skill. Emotional health and high performance is exactly the same thing. So success habits is when we actually put in a place to be like, this is what I do every day. This is what I do every day. I just got off the phone with a power lifter who I work with, and we were just working out how does she schedule her training sessions better. Yeah, there's got to be a habit for that emotionally. And then the last step is time and self-measure. Like I'm not a one-hit wonder. You hear all these, and neither are my clients. Like you hear all these coaches say, oh, I can fix you in one session. It's like, no, you can't. Humans and habits take time to develop, and I want to be able to show you how to do that. And also I want you to leave me. I want you to leave me and be able to sustain your own emotional performance yourself, your own SWAT team mentality. And I show you how to do that through a lot of reflection stuff. So, I mean, that was probably more drawn out than you wanted, but that's my coaching, and that's the mentality and the mindset you get, or my clients get, when working with me, is that sports performance, that SWAT team mindset that just, you take action. You get out of your head, you take action.
It's like going to practice every day.
Absolutely. I don't know when people got that wrong. I don't know that, but anyway.
So you just got to get up and go practice.
You got to go practice, and that's it. Yeah.
Little bit like branding. You're kind of branding yourself and putting that brand out there consistently.
Absolutely, it's the same thing. So if I want to be, when people say to me, Rach, how do you get focused? I'm like, well, I practice. There's certain things I do to get focused, and there's certain productivity things that I use to keep me focused, and then I do it for a long period of time, and you get better at it. Like it's a skill. There's no trick. There's no thing that I can just be like, Shazam, you've got focus. You practice it. The same with dealing with overwhelm. There's a way you can practice how to cope with overwhelm better.
And it becomes, after you practice over and over and over and over, it's part of the sports, the way that works, it becomes automatic.
Absolutely. And you know how to win, like something that athletes are really good at and the business owners need to be really good at. That's why I work on this type of mindset, is they know how to win. They don't leave it up to chance. So for me, I don't leave my mindset up to chance. I don't leave my clients' mindset up to chance. We give them the skills, like they have things that they know can get them into the state they need to be into. So all of a sudden people go, Rach, how do you stay motivated? I'm like, well, I'm not always motivated, or I don't always feel good, but I do have the tools to get me into the state I need to jump on this webinar, to make that sales call, where most people don't have that ability to know. You know what I mean? They leave it up to chance.
So whether you're feeling it or not, you just start doing it, and maybe the philosophy, like you smile enough and you end up happy.
Well, the smile is the action that you're practicing. So yeah, it's a great philosophy.
That I've heard very regularly. And yeah, that's makes sense to me. I know that, like I said, without the personal development, I get stuck.
Yeah.
I get stuck, and I go back to the old evil ways. And I don't know at what point that becomes enough of a habit that to bust out of your limiting beliefs, for instance.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've got an interesting opinion on that, and I don't know if it's the same as other coaches or different, but you're not like limiting beliefs. We get wound up in this world of personal development, and you think that if you don't get rid of these limiting beliefs, you won't be okay. Like, how often are we taught that? Like, if you don't get rid of all these blocks, you're not okay. So then we get conditioned to think that we're not good enough or we're not there yet to achieve. And I'm like, that's the problem. The limiting belief is not your fucking problem. Because guess what? You're a human being who is supposed to be scared. Because that's what humans are, right? We don't want, like, we're not built for this. So how I go about that is, yes, I'm always working on limiting beliefs with people because, yes, we do want to break through. I'm a coach. I know that concept. But it's the story you play in your head. You do not have to break through that to be okay. You have to have a way of getting yourself into that state of mind when you need it. That's what I think the difference is. Because do you know how many times I get like fearful in a day? So many. Like, I'll be on a sales call to some ridiculously big business owner and I'm sitting there thinking, why the fuck are you calling me, right? I feel the same thing. But I have the ability to switch on to that SWAT team mentality and say, I'm going anyway from the practice that I've done emotionally before now, whereas you or someone else might think, I'm not ready for this phone call. So that's where, does that make sense? Like, the limiting beliefs are not your problem. Being a human is not your problem. The story that we're being taught around, you have to break these before you're okay. That's the problem. That's the problem.
You just push right through them.
Yeah, but it comes from the practice. Like, I wouldn't wake up today and push through it, right? You do the practice first. You go through my PC method first so you can develop the skills to be able to push through. I'm most definitely not just saying, oh my God, wake up and go and do it, because you won't be able to because you're not yet conditioned to, which is, I wasn't, right? And there's so many things that I'm still not conditioned to do. But I put in the practice. Like, every day I'm doing step 3 success habits. Every day I'm doing something. So when those, as in meditating, clarity questions, reflection sheets, like I ask myself a lot of questions. I have a lot of rituals that get me into the state I want to get into. Like, it's almost like if I was a basketballer, I've been training for 3 years. So when game time comes, I've got fucking half a chance. I'm definitely not saying you're going to be great at this and just be able to walk onto the emotional court and be great first up. No, but there is a way, there is a method to get you there, to have that mentality. So yes, you've got to get up and just push through it, but that in itself is the mentality that I teach people how to create for themselves.
Repetition is a lot to do
Yep.
with it then.
Like, it's funny, like,
go ahead.
Joe.
I get a kick out of talking about, I have a leader in network marketing, and one of the cutest things that he says, he talks about and we all have one, the terrorist that sits on your shoulder.
Yep.
That tells you, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Just make up an excuse and run away because you can't do that. And I've heard Tony Robbins talk about it too, to some degree. It's not, I guess it's related to limiting beliefs, but it's just like an initial human reaction that says, oh, this is different. You never did it before, or run away.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I think people are getting fluffy with mindset, which is great. We all have our own niches to sit in, but there is a way to develop the mindset that goes, I know the gremlin's there and I have a way to work with it and move forward anyway. Like, that's the difference.
You got to concede it's sitting there because it is. It
Absolutely.
doesn't matter.
I have like 10 of them. I have like 10 of them.
They're crawling all over you.
Yes. But I take them with me. Like that's the mentality that I teach. I'm like, they're there. The second you acknowledge they're there, they lose half their power. And I just, I learn to move forward anyway. When you're battling with these guys, you don't even get to start the game. But when I accept that they're coming with me, fuck, we do it together. I have gremlins keeping me grounded, and I also have a mindset that allows me to move forward. Like, yeah, it's weird. You've got to accept that they're there always.
We're going to do it together, guys. Come on. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's a neat way to look at it that I haven't heard before. Yeah, I
And I
like that.
actually tell myself that because it's resistance. Again, I said the problem's not the problem, right? The gremlin's not your problem. It's the story that we're being taught to believe about that gremlin that is the resistance that's stopping you from taking action.
It's letting them be in charge.
Letting them be in charge. And then you do this, you dibble dabble, you dip your toe in and out. Should I, shouldn't I? Before you know, you're losing a lot of money in your business and you're not where you want to be because you are. But when I let go of that resistance and I go, I'm not getting rid of them because I'm a human being, I'm not an alien, I'm a human. Then you can make more space in your brain to bring in this mentality, this SWAT team mindset that allows you to go anyway. Like that, you've got to take away that resistance. And that's by acknowledging that they're there.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's silly to try to pretend you're going to beat them because they're coming along they are coming along for the ride. They'll come out every corner you turn and every new page you open they're going to tell you, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. And I heard a really, really good quote the other day that just absolutely blew my mind, but it was so simple. Dan Locke, he's like the best high ticket salesman in the world, but he said, the one ability of an entrepreneur, the one characteristic is being able to withstand long periods of pain. That's the characteristic of an entrepreneur, because that's what we do. We're putting out fires all day, every day, and we have to have these gremlins to do it ourselves. There's no boss. There's no one else taking on half the gremlins. It's us. So you're going to be walking through that pain non-stop. And he said, every time you solve a problem, another problem just takes its place. That's business and that's entrepreneurship. And that's cool. That's the way it is. It's the mentality you have to have to not waver, but execute. That's the SWAT team mentality that I'm talking about. That's what the PC method allows you to create, because I'll speak to 30 people in a week and they'll say, oh, I'm not sure if I can. I don't know if I feel a bit. Fuck, one of my clients has a $2 million business, and she said to me, do you know how much money I'm losing because I'm not taking action? And she's already got a $2 million business because she couldn't respect herself enough to have the SWAT team mentality. Been working with her for about 6 months, and now it's exploded because she goes, I don't wait anymore. I don't wait for my mind to be okay anymore. I fucking act. And of course, in her capabilities in business, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. So that's going to make a heck of a difference.
Yeah, it does. And starting and not starting. Like, why am I sitting at home on what day is it today? Friday, getting to have a great chat with you when everyone else my age wants a business of freedom, but they're at a fucking job somewhere? Like, why is that? I'm not that smart, but I have the mentality that I'm going to take action when you guys are waiting. It's a mindset.
And the perseverance to keep doing it every day, whether you feel like it or not. Yeah.
And that's why step 3 and 4 in my PC method, as in I want to show you the rituals I do every day, and I want to show you how to reflect on yourself to get your own momentum. Absolutely. Like, I have no intention of not showing you my skills. I want you to know them, and I want you to go and be able to execute on your own performance long after I'm gone, because, you've got your own things to do.
So you've got some golf background. Do you still play?
No, no. But that's where I learnt this mindset from, right? Like, it's been built into me, and it took me a long time.
That's where I was going. I see that.
Yeah, and I love that because, it's built into me, right? But it took me
Oh, we dropped you for a minute, Rachel. Well, we lost Rachel for just a minute. I think she'd probably be right back, which is tough because I was wanting to hear about that golf. I think that's, I don't know, it seems to me like that's a very, very, very mental game. See if I can find her. It says she's still here.
Are we back?
Hello, you're back. Yes.
Nice. I hope it didn't keep
searching for
recording on
you. I was
All
just
good?
searching for you.
Cool. We're still on.
Yes, we are. We just lost you for a
But yeah,
minute.
yes. And like, yes, it has been built into me, but I didn't use it. And now in my coaching career, I've worked out how to use that mentality. So yes, it's been built into me over a lot of years, but that's why you don't have to have the sports background, but I think you'll find most successful people do. And I just show you how to find it. Like, that's why I work with small business owners. I don't work with startup because you got to do, there's heaps of shit you got to learn, but you'll find that some people, you can teach the skill, even if you haven't played a lot of sport. But when you have, I'm more so unlocking that mindset for you that you haven't yet tapped into.
Yeah, my thing was wrestling, and
Yeah.
I can remember high school the coach saying, he says it's everybody's got physical skills. The difference is between your ears. It's 90%
Yeah.
mental. If your mind's made up, you're going to go out and you're going to win. You're going to
Yeah.
go out and win.
And you would know from a wrestling, even at whatever level, like if you played sport in school or whatever that was, you would know that there's a moment. There is that moment when you're stepping onto the mat or into the ring and you go, you're on. And you turn into someone who's on and you go and act. You didn't dance around the ring and just wait to be ready, did you? You
No.
get killed. You got in, like like out of the ring, you probably just, cool and calm. But when you stepped into the ring, you go into this SWAT team mentality and you had to act, or else you physically would have probably been very badly hurt. So you know what I'm talking about, right? We need to find that in business where you act. You don't dabble, but you're able to switch into that mentality. That exact moment is the mindset that I work on with people.
That is cool, and I can remember even when you had somebody that you knew was going to be a handful. You might have been sitting there on the side saying, "Oh, dealing with that terrorist."
Yeah. Yeah.
That terrorist trying to talk to you. Like you got your hands full here. This is not going to be easy. But you're right. When you got your attitude where it needs to be, you walk out onto the mat and you've got a totally different. You're thinking, how am I gonna win this?
And it becomes a have to, right? Like, it becomes a have to. Like when you're on the mat, you're on the mat, you don't have the ability to just see how you go because there's someone that's going to attack you. Like, I know that's not the same in business, but you have to think like that in business, because if I don't get on my phone calls today because I don't feel like it, I don't have a business. And that's why people are failing, because they go, oh, I'm not ready, or I haven't. I'm like, there has to be a moment where you click into that mindset that you do it no matter what. And that's a learnt skill. I haven't always been like this. I obviously failed my first business and my golf career to work this out. But that's the mindset that you get to. But yes, I coach people how to get to that mindset. I don't want people to be confused that I just know how to do it. There's a way to get there.
And you said you have a group starting up.
Yeah, because I've got the new program coming out, so that'll come out in a little bit. I've got some workshops coming up, but at the moment I am doing one-to-one coaching. I mean, I have other programs. I've got 3 other programs, but the new SWAT team mentality program comes out maybe near the end of the year, or probably before that. Yeah.
I like actually. I have a few friends down under in Australia, and that time difference. I have found that, you all are people that I can deal with like early in the day and later in the day.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
there's a window where Australia is very reachable from the US.
Yeah, for
Um,
the US, yes. Yeah, my partner's in Canada at the moment and it is a struggle. So there are some places that it's harder, but like I got some clients in Liverpool and you find a window and you just keep to it.
yeah, uh, I've been learning that with the various different, and I love the internet because I have friends in Australia, I have friends in Ireland and in the UK and South America, and these are all places I have never been. Um, but that kind of motivates me to want to succeed big and get to the point where I can go there. You know,
Cool. Well, you need to start calling on that old wrestler within inside you. Start using that mindset. I reckon you'll get a lot more done.
I think probably that was probably a breakthrough for me tonight to be able to, because I never really put the two together, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
It
And that's what I mean.
totally
It
makes
took
sense.
me a while, but I really wanted to explain to people what that mindset is that you need to have because it's very hard to explain mindset, right? It's a very unusual, intangible thing, but it is that sports mentality, that ability to switch on and get out of your head. Like I deal with so many women who are so stuck in their head, and you've got to be able to clear the head noise a little bit so you can act. And that's the mindset. So you've been there, like it's just I work with people exactly like you who have that mindset somewhere and they've experienced it. We just got to bring it out, and then you'll be like, holy shit, I've done this type of action taking
You
before.
just
You've done it before.
I think that's a big breakthrough for me because I just I made the connection that I'd never made before. And back in the day, I was good enough that I had that mindset.
Yeah.
I also as I got down to like states and things, uh, I had days where the terrorists won big. you
Yeah,
know,
and
I,
I could
I had days
guarantee
where,
you were trying to push the
I mean,
terrorist away, right?
actually the terrorist was only one big because he was right. I was like over my head. I was a 5 day a week guy that chased girls and drank beer on the weekend.
Yeah.
And,
So it takes a bit of
down
practice.
there,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
that's
down
the
there
thing.
you hit the guys that were like 7 days a week and they practiced twice a day. They were freaking
Yeah.
awesome. And
Yeah.
Terrace was right. He said, "Oh, you're going to get your ass kicked," and I did. You know?
But that's the thing. Like I do a lot of like just quick, even just for you personally, I would be doing a lot of visualization yourself now. What did that feel like when you were stepping into the ring to win? What did that feel like? And I would be taking yourself back to that emotion every day. Like I take myself back to what I did in sport and how that relates now. Like I act as if I'm an athlete. That's how I act. That's my mindset. So for you, go and do a meditation and be like, what was that? What was that moment that I stepped into the ring? Pick of one time that you won the match or whatever you call it. You won it. You knew you'd won it. Fucking bring that feeling up because the
Yeah,
more
the,
we
the
can,
mindset was the mindset was you're not gonna. I'm here to win. Ain't no
yep,
chance anything else is happening. I'm winning. That's it. It's done. It's over. I just got to go out and physically do it, but it's a done deal. There was
that's it.
never any
And I
doubt.
just like
Yeah.
I show people how to bring up that feeling, get your body used to those emotions again and those feelings, because then you'll be able to act like that. You haven't felt it in ages. You have not felt it since being in the ring. Start feeling that. Because when your body is used to, like, it's getting used to how you want it to act, you will start to act that way. Like, it's not rocket science.
That is really cool. That is really, really cool. And that's definitely, I think that's a mindset breakthrough for me tonight that I'll be able to enjoy using going forward.
That's it. It's exciting, isn't it? It's not like
Yeah,
wishing and hoping. It's like, boom.
it is. It is. And when I peaked and I needed to get back to that peak because like I said, the personal development, it comes and it goes. It doesn't stay. And at the peak, I felt like celebrating
Yeah.
because I knew I was going to win. It wasn't even, it's not done yet, but my mind's right. I know it's just a matter of going through the actions here, and it's going to happen.
Yeah,
And
100%. And like that's how I feel now about my business is I do not like I'm taking on this whole new venture of like doing workshops and stuff that I don't know about. But there is no doubt in my mind that like I'm already going to be successful at a ridiculously high level. Like you just know that you will do what it takes to move yourself forward. Whereas so many people are like, oh, I don't know if I'm going there. We've already lost. I know I'll get there. I don't know how yet. I got no idea how, but I know I'll be there. Yeah. So it's just practicing that, getting that mentality, getting that mindset. That's the mindset that I show you how to have.
I totally love that. And I think, yeah, that's it for me. I mean, that's the way to do it. I wasn't sure because I've done a lot of NLP or NLC, whatever Tony Robbins wants to call it today. And he's even said that it doesn't stick. He said
It
he had a
doesn't
guy
stick
come
because
up
you're not
to
doing
him
anything
at
after it.
a yeah, he had a guy come up to him at a meeting and say, "Well, you got me to quit smoking for like 8 years, and now I'm smoking again."
Yeah. So you know why that happens? That's why, like, it's so true. It's so true. You've got to do NLP is like step 2 of my PC method, right? But step 3, what are the habits you're doing? Okay, so imagine this. You go to Tony Robbins. He breaks you through using NLP. Great. You need that. You've got to break through. Could you imagine if from that day forward, you did a visualization that got you into the wrestler mindset every single day leading up to now? Do you think it would stick then?
That's it. That's it. And
So
in a month, 2 months, it becomes a habit.
yeah.
It's the way your mind works instead of having to get your mind to work that way. That's how your mind's working when you get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. Step three of my coaching process is the habits. And they can be so simple as a 30-second thing that I do every morning. I ask myself questions to get me into a state, right? And that's the thing. So NLP, you've gone and had a shower, but then what? You've never been consistent with it. Like that's what I mean. Most coaches don't have the actual performance training of what do you do every single day. An athlete doesn't go to basketball once and then show up to the fucking championship 3 years later, do they? No, they train every single day. Like, so
Yep,
I know
that's
exactly what you mean. NLP doesn't stick because you haven't done something after it. It's the best, you have to have it because it's the best, it changes the neurons in your brain. It's the only way to do coaching, but you have to do something after it. There's got to be a process after it.
that's seeing, and I get cocky.
Yep.
I get cocky. I'm a diabetic. I had that beat. I was blowing some really nice numbers regularly. Not this year, but the summer before. Over the summer, I said, "Oh, I got this shit. I don't have to worry about it anymore," and I didn't. And I went back in August and blew a 10.8, which is about 2 points,
Right.
3 points higher than it ever should have been. Yeah, and
Yeah.
just because I thought I had it beat and I can move on. It's not. It don't work that way. Now it's down to 7 again. But
Yeah.
you know, I think about it every day. It
It
doesn't.
takes you off the roller coaster. Like what I love to do with my clients is life's going to be hard. Like by all means, fucking life is hard and business is even harder. And I feel like shit plenty of times. I just want to make that a disclaimer. But the results, like I want to take you off the results roller coaster. Like you've done great and then failed and then great and then failed. And holy shit, that's tiring, right? Like I just want to level you out a little bit. Like you have the mindset, the SWAT team, the performance mindset to consistently move on. And that comes with step 3 of the process, habits, and step 4, reflection. Like, yes, it's taken me a long time, but there is a way is what I'm trying to tell you. There's a way to not just be doing this.
I
I'd
totally
fail
love
too.
it. I
If my
totally love it.
mindset was
And
like this, if my mindset was like this, I would fail as well. Like I would have given up.
wow, anybody that's listening, if this hasn't hit you hard, you're not paying attention. It'll end up on my timeline. Go back and watch it again because if it hasn't hit you hard, you need to hear it some more because it will. It's just, or you don't care. That could
That's
be
fine.
too. But I mean, there are people that are in business for a hobby, and stick to your hobby if that's all you want. But if you want to win, Rachel's got it figured out. I,
I've got it figured out how to work out the unfigureoutable. Like, I don't have, like, as I said, I don't feel great every day, but there is a way to work with yourself to move forward. Work with the demons and the limiting beliefs, work with them and still move yourself forward. Like, that's the crux of it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to feel worth it. You work on those as you go. But so many women in business, they don't go to the next level because they don't feel worth it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't feel worth it every day, but I still have the mentality to show up, right? So I feel like we're almost being tricked in the personal development world, and it's weird to say that as a coach, but we're being sucked into the vortex. So you keep buying people's shit. That's what happens. And it's just, it irritates me because there is a way forward. I do believe you should always have a coach for the reason of continually evolving, but people are getting stuck like, oh, I don't feel worth it. I'm like, so? That doesn't mean you don't have 2 arms and 2 legs to bloody pick up the computer.
you still need to go do it. Yeah, yeah. Well,
And that's
those of us stuck in a day job, you don't feel like going there every day either. But if you keep calling off, eventually you're not going to have a job no more.
that's it. And I teach people to get there. By all means, I teach people to get to this mindset. I'm not expecting you to get off the call and then just be like, oh, I'm just going to go do, because you're not conditioned to do that, and it's going to be really, really hard. I get that, but you can learn. Like, I coach people to get to this type of mindset.
It's a process, and then staying there is the next process.
Yeah, doable. It's definitely doable. People are doing it.
Like I said at the start too, I mean, if Ray Higdon feels like he needs a coach still, I like you said, I don't see how the guy just starting out can think he doesn't.
I just don't get it. Like, I've got like 3 coaches just for weird things that I just want to know about. Like, I got a spiritual coach the other day to teach me sales from spirituality. Like, I just want to know what it's about. Like, who knows? I've joined another coach just last week to teach me how to do workshops better, because I want to know. Like, that's the next thing for me.
And you're evolving, growing, and getting better all the time.
Yeah.
Which I am a firm believer in. There's no treading water. You either go ahead or you go back.
Yeah.
You can't.
And that's the mindset.
You can't just get somewhere and stay there and I'm going to be happy the rest of my life and chill here, because you're going to go back. You just, whether you see it or not, trying to tread water doesn't work.
No. And that's exactly how you explain my sports mentality mindset. It's the ability to get out of your head and go. That's what the mindset is.
I totally love it, and I am so grateful you could make it tonight with us. Let's see, I have a couple of your posts in my timeline. If anybody wants to hook up with Rachel, jump in there and just click on her name. I think they both actually even have one of your business pages hooked onto them too. So.
Yeah, plenty of stuff, but message me personally. Like, that's what I like to do, is actually talk to people. So you're more than welcome to shoot me a personal message, because it'll be me on the other end of it.
Kind of how I got to be a friend of yours. I would say we're friends. Rachel was on a webinar and I jumped on, friended her, and PM'd her right afterwards. And, we chat sometimes. Love to be able to. And I said, it's great that you were here. I just have to hone that little breakthrough a little bit, and I'm styling.
That's what I mean. Like, that's what I mean. You already know how to do it. I just had to bring it out of you. You already know exactly the feeling. And I'm on the other side of the world to you. You know the feeling I'm explaining, and you can get it. Like, that's what I love about coaching. I don't have to be there.
It clicked. Now, I will never feel that way about golf. I suck.
Yeah. No.
I suck.
The best thing I do now is I go play like the virtual golf where you hit it into the screen. That's all I do.
Yeah,
And you can, but there's a bar behind it, and you just sit, and you have beers and take turns. Like that's it for me.
that's it. That works. That works. I can go out and play 18 and have like two totally professional shots the whole game.
Yeah,
And
golf is a hard sport.
I'll prove that I could possibly do it, but consistency, that's not an option. That's that and some of that's probably my mindset, but I do it. I
But
do it
some
for.
like you're just not a golfer. Like you don't have to be good at it.
No, I do it for fun. You're exactly
Yeah,
right. It's an excuse to go out and have a couple of beers and wander around, look at the cute little animals, and
perfect.
suck some fresh air. It's a wonderful thing, but you're right. Not just never intended to be. The day I throw a club in the pond or jump up and down screaming after a bad shot is the day I never go again. It's not that
Yeah,
important to me. And I've always said that if that was a $10,000 putt, then I'd probably be excited about it. I'd worry about it, but it's not going to be.
exactly it.
So definitely, I thank you again. I'm going to stick my friend Kristen Brown, Lethal Princess. I've got some of her work that she does dubstep and some interesting musical stuff that personally, the first time I ever heard, I'm like, what the hell is that? And after about 3 or 4 times, it kind of grows on you. So I keep sticking it in everybody's ear when I sign on or off of this thing. And I
Perfect.
think I forgot at the start because I was so excited. We've never done an actual live. I had
Well,
I have had 3 different guests on, and for different reasons, they couldn't be here at 8 on Thursday, and we just went ahead and taped it. So it was cool doing it actually live too. That's nice. Your buddy Molly, that's what she wanted. That was
yeah.
you see, you can't just record it.
Yeah, Molly.
You can't just record it and pretend it's live. You got to admit it's recorded if it is, and tell them it's live when it really is.
Yeah, that's it. You're exactly right. Well, thanks for having me on, Mike.
Greatly appreciate it, and yeah, hopefully we can do it again another day. I totally enjoyed it, and I'm going to work that breakthrough and let you know how that works out too. I
I'd
think,
love to. You'd be surprised at how good you are at it.
you know what? I think that's only 5 minutes a day of getting into that frame of mind.
Sure is.
So we'll get after that, and yeah, come again. It was a pleasure, and I hope you can.
All right.